Welcome to Carnity. My name is Mizan. And today we're reviewing this beautiful BMW 645 Ci, and I think it's amazing value for money. Can you believe this costs the same as a 10-year-old family hatchback, and it's got a legendary 4.4 litre V8 under the bonnet? Make sure you guys stay to the end because you don't want to miss this one. As always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. If you've already done that, I want to extend a massive thank you from me because you guys are the backbone of Carnity, so thank you for that. I hope you're enjoying the new format of reviews we're doing. I know we're not doing the M135i comparisons, and the reason for that is very simple. The two cars we had lined up for the penultimate and finale have dropped out because of some issues with the car. They will be coming back, but for now, we're going to crack on with this, and we'll jump on those videos when we can. So let's talk about price. Brand new, this car cost around £50,000, which at 2004 was a lot of money. In today's standard, with inflation in mind and whatnot, that would be what, 3 times that amount? Today's equivalent of this car in BMW's lineup is the M8 50i, which sits just below the M8 Competition, which is the flagship car. So when I tell you the price of these, you're going to be surprised. This car can be picked up from anything from £3,500 to £8,000. This car was replaced in 2006 with the 650i. That car can be picked up from 8 grand all the way up to 13 grand, all right? You're thinking, what's the difference between the two cars? So this has got a 4.4 litre, the 650i has got a 4.8 litre. They're both naturally aspirated V8s, all right? The difference is the car is more reliable, apparently. Some things are, made better, so it's less prone to failing certain components and whatnot, and that's literally it. So technically speaking, this is the more fragile engine, if you want to call it that, but there is something to influence your decision. There was a change in road tax law in 2009, which meant that cars before 2006 get put in a lower road tax band, and cars after 2006 go in a higher road tax band. The 645 Ci, believe it or not, in today costs £340 for a year's worth of road tax. The 650i, on the other hand, it will cost you £600 for 1 year's of road tax. So you do the math. Would you rather pay the government more money on road tax for essentially the same car, or would you rather have money aside for repairs? Your choice. So let's talk about power. This car is pushing 328 brake horsepower and 450 newton meters of torque. This is all from a naturally aspirated engine. My M135i does similar numbers from a turbocharged straight six. So that is quite impressive, especially for a 2004 car. The other thing to mention is this car can provide 330 newton meters of torque from 1000 RPM. That's insane. That's the benefit of a naturally aspirated engine, isn't it? It's paired with a ZF 6-speed. It's nothing like the modern 8-speed that we get on my car and M cars and such. So it's not really that great of a gearbox, but it's still a good gearbox for the car. There was no manual option, but you could get the SMG, which is sequential manual gearbox. And that's a story for another day. So let's talk about visuals and modifications. The first thing I want to mention is, don't think that this is an SE, all right? I want to make that very clear right now. This is not an SE. There was no M Sport until the mid-2000s. So when this car came out, there was no such thing. And it started off with the E93 series and whatnot, and it made its way up. And this generation actually never got an M Sport. You can only get it in this one trim, which is the Sport trim. So I don't want to hear no one say it's an SE, because it isn't. While we're on the topic of SE and M Sport, the man who came up with that is no other than Chris Bangle. He's actually the man that designed this car. Now, he was very controversial because he took BMW away from the classic look of BMW, such as the E46, the E39, and other models from that generation to these modern looking BMWs. It was Marmite. Some people loved it, some people hate it. I personally love it. I mean, the back of this car alone, people call it the Bangle butt. This and the 7 Series in particular, they suffer from that a lot. But personally, I think it looks really good. And I'm a fan, what can I say? And don't get me wrong, I love my E39s and I love my E46s. I think you can enjoy both. There's no reason to pick between the two. The other thing I want to say is Chris Bangle, I think, is a genius, because when he introduced the M Sport into the lineup of BMWs, he made them a lot of money. Think about it. People didn't want an SE, so they paid more for M Sport. This then resulted in Audi copying with S-Line and Mercedes copying with AMG line. So think about it. Chris Bangle was really ahead of his time, and this car is a perfect example of his design. So let's talk about mods now. Obviously, it being a naturally aspirated engine, there's no stage 1 tune or anything like that, because you can't get anything more out of a naturally aspirated. I mean, you can, but we're talking about such little figures that it's not even worth pursuing. In terms of visual elements, this car came with a lot of chrome accents. So the first thing he did was he made the wheels black. So these were originally silver. He changed the front grille. They used to be silver as well. And the last thing was the door surround. This was all chrome before. And that's about it in terms of mods. All he's done is give it that evil, dark look about it. The other thing I want to mention is spec on this car. It's got a pan roof, which is quite cool for a car of this age. It's got electric folding mirrors, it's got full leather seats, and it's got memory seats. The other mod he did was he upgraded his head unit. So it went from running iDrive 3.0, I believe, to now iDrive 6.0. And it's all via Android. And he's got Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, etc. So I think that's a really nice mod he's done. And it's made the car feel a lot more modern. So guys, it's now time to go for a drive in the car. So let's meet Kenny. Kenny's the owner of this car. Hey man, welcome to the channel. So we're gonna jump in. You know what? Listen mate, you're making me look really short on camera. Let's redo this shoot, but can you kneel down, bro? This is my audience.
Listen, I'm 5'1", don't get to me.
Listen, I'm 5'10", you're making me look short, but do you mind just kneeling down a bit, bro? You know what? Fuck. Yeah, with a car like this, you can't think about fuel, innit?
No, not at all, man. Literally, like I said, when the journey needs it, fuel it up.
Yeah, you're enjoying the car, so it's not even worth thinking about, isn't it? Do you mind me asking how much you picked the car up for?
Do you know what? I tried to source obviously I was looking for a spec in it, and I wanted obviously tinted, I wanted the V8 engine, I wanted particular specs on it. So yeah, it was a hard source, but I got it for a nice one, 5.5.
You've obviously blacked out the car, it's murdered out now.
Yeah.
You did your wheels, and then when I saw you on the road, I was like, mate, you need to dechrome
it. You know what? I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Like, obviously, the inspiration came from you. Like,
yeah.
Like, obviously, the vision was like, listen, you get it blacked out, the grills, the this, that, and the other. And I saw the vision, and I thought, you know what? The next 3 days, had it all done.
Exactly.
Literally.
And it's not like it cost an arm and a leg. Such an evil-looking car, this. You know,
sick.
You literally don't want to see this car in your rearview mirror. Like,
exactly.
That's the vision you're going for.
All you want is hear. You just want to hear it. So where the hell's that sound coming
exactly.
from?
I said earlier in the video, and I talked about reliability of the 45i versus the 50i engine. Yeah. Look, you've got 145,000 miles on the clock.
Crazy.
This car feels very smooth. It does not feel like it's lacking anything
at all.
Oh, that sounds so good.
Literally.
It feels like a proper muscle car.
It does the job. Like, everyone hears it when I come through.
Yeah. One thing I noticed about this car is being in the passenger. Yeah. Low down, the power's there. Yeah. But top end, it doesn't really pull as hard anymore.
Oh, see. You think so?
Yeah. So I'm looking at it. Yeah, I can tell the gearbox is slow. I can see the rev changing quite slow compared to my car, obviously.
Okay.
I think the gearbox probably isn't the best combination for the car. But obviously, considering the time, I'm thinking it looks pretty good, to be fair.
Yeah, because I took it to the shop and they're saying like they can fix that. Like,
the gearbox flash, they update the
saying.
software so it'll be a bit more snappier.
That's it.
It's not as loud as I thought it would be. It's more loud on the outside.
Oh yeah, so you hear it outside.
This car is very well insulated.
Don't get it twisted. Yeah, if I open the windows, you'll hear it.
Yeah, so
literally.
Oh my god! You know what? We can't do this review with the windows down because I can't get the noise. You know, open it a little bit. Open it just a little bit. Because we need that noise, man.
I'm telling you, you can't hear. You can't talk.
My car's active sound doesn't work, but active sound is when cars play the fake noise with the speakers.
Oh yeah, inside.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not fake. It knows like what speed your car's going, what rev, and it applies that same noise in the cabin.
Oh, see.
So they're very calculated, and they do that because cars are well insulated.
Yeah.
And people always say, "Oh, I hate it. It's fake. But look at this car. We had the windows up, and you couldn't tell we were in there. And now that we got the windows down, it's like, whoa. This car pulls really well. I mean, this car is going to be a heavy car as well. It's not because it's a GT, isn't it? It's not just whatever. It's a Grand Tourer, you know. It's meant to be fast and comfortable at the same time. Yeah. So to be able to pull that hard, that is really good, if you ask me.
100%.
Honestly, the noise is the best thing about this car. Yeah. It's the best thing.
That's why they want to get it changed, isn't it?
Yeah, because honestly, what car are you going to buy for this kind of price? So now I'm driving the car and I wonder how this is going to be.
Enjoy it, bro.
Yeah, man, I will. I think I will. Because this is a dream car. Oh, God, the steering is nice and weighted. Yeah, this is a proper car.
Full control, bro.
Proper. I can feel this car being front heavy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can feel the nose of this car is heavy. You can feel it. But to be fair, it is a big, heavy V8, you know? It's not a small engine.
At all.
But the thing is, BMW now to do 50-50 weight distribution.
Okay.
Honest truth is, I can tell the gearbox is letting this down. That's the that's the biggest problem, because the power is there. It's not unleashing the full potential of the car. That noise is probably second best to what, you know, the C63, the W204. You know what? This is manageable power. You know that. Put your foot down a decent amount, but at the same time, you can feel like it's not too much of the road.
Yeah, you're not losing handle.
Yeah.
At all.
No,
and that's one thing I've noticed. Like sometimes when you're obviously overdoing with certain cars, yeah, you feel yourself losing.
Yeah. I feel like the sweet spot is around this brake horsepower, around 330, 350.
Yeah.
When you go about 400, I feel like they're too powerful for the road. A car like this, you don't even have to put your foot down, because it starts doing that noise so low. That look.
Exactly. Instantly.
This is how you drive, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
You just drive around like this.
And you're hearing it from low speed.
You don't need to rev it out.
At all.
Don't need to, no. It does what it does from the bottom. I just can't believe for $5.5 grand you can pick one of these up, because
100% still.
that is the price of what, a Mark 6 Golf?
Yeah.
You know, like a
Literally.
1.6 engine.
How did you find the drive?
Honestly, the car is so responsive, so responsive. The car, as soon as you put the car, when you put your foot down, there's no delay. So in my car, I've also got a turbo, yeah? If the turbos aren't spooled up, there's a delay.
Oh,
Whereas in this car, there's nothing. It's just the engine and the gearbox. And that's why I said that if there is any delay, it's the gearbox letting it down. So now I put the car into sports. Let's see how this is. Traction light came on. Paper, this car has the same amount of power as my car.
Yeah.
But I think the weight of this car
slows it down.
Yeah. It's fast, but it's not
it's
light.
Heavy. Yeah, it's heavy.
It's heavy. You can feel it. But like I said, I think for this price point, what it comes down to is you can just grumble away, doing what it does with no pressure. I mean, I'm enjoying this car driving like this.
Yeah, literally.
That's more enjoyable than redlining it, because there's no point. I just wish this car had flappy paddles, because honestly, I'll be just shifting through the gears.
Oh, serious.
If you wanted a V8, right, and you're like, listen, I want to have a big fat V8 on my driveway, and it's not going to be my primary car as well. Think about it. This is your daily, yeah? This is one thing I say. This is your daily.
Yeah, throwaway car.
You drive this every single day, regardless of fuel cost. But I think most people could explore this car as an option, as a second car.
Oh, yeah.
You could have your brand new electric car, your petrol, diesel, whatever you call it, and on a sunny day like this,
take off.
That's it. You can get this kind of convertible as well if you really want it.
Yeah.
Put the roof down, all the noises in your ears. That's probably a good shout, isn't it?
You know what? I looked at the convertible, but this one, yeah.
The spec on this.
The spec on this was too much for me.
Yeah, honestly, this car, I can't. If this car was going for 10 grand, I'd have complaints. But for 5 grand, 5.5, well, like I said, you can pick something for 3.5.
Yeah.
I don't think you can say a bad word.
And the thing about it, I noticed with certain cars, yeah, when you're in the passenger seat, yeah, you find yourself. I feel the car's losing control.
Yeah, you feel that.
I don't feel it with this.
Really?
Yeah, when you were doing your thing, yeah, I didn't feel like, I need to hold the seat.
Because you know this car.
It can control it.
Yeah, you know. Like I said, this is very manageable. How often do you see the traction light come on?
I don't think I've ever seen it, bro.
There you go.
Literally.
Because it can handle that power.
Literally.
There's just no issues. So I'm driving quite easy now because there's 2 reasons. Number one, this car doesn't need to be driven hard to be enjoyed. This car is about cruising. It just honestly grumbles as you go. And that's pretty much what you need from it. It's not particularly fast because of the weight. So the best thing is just cruising and just hearing the grumble of the V8, you know? And the other thing as well is his brakes are smoking, aren't they? Because it's a sunny day, you can see the smoke coming, you know, that the brakes are very hot. So I don't really want to punish this car any further by driving it hard or even trying to brake, you know. No one can look down on this car, no one, you can't. Because you need to, yeah, the car might be cheap to buy, but you got to have a fat wallet to be able to maintain it, you know.
Exactly.
I'm enjoying this car, just driving it as it is. You just do not even need to put your foot down.
No, it's a nice
Just
drive.
cruising is enough. It's not meant to be driven hard. It's not an M performance car. It's not an M car. Really and truly, this is what BMW designed it for.
Yeah, 100%.
Just cruising. That's why even the brakes.
In London.
Exactly, and that's why the brakes are smoking, because it's not built for this kind of heat or this type of driving as well, isn't it? If it was a performance car, I think the brakes, because we haven't been going that hard at the car, have we?
Yeah, literally 20 minutes.
Exactly,
tops.
and it's got hot.
And it got hot, yeah.
If I could have 2 cars on the driveway and have a practical car, this would be the other car I have on the driveway. I think without a doubt, I wouldn't be as crazy as Kenny having this as my only car, but I think having it as a secondary car, 100%.
Yeah, why not?
Honestly, I can't express into words how much I love this generation of 6 Series. It's so timeless. I mean, honestly, it doesn't look a day older than 2010, you know?
Yeah.
That's why you're going to put the private plate on this car, because it just looks so good, doesn't it, for its age?
Oh yeah, the shape's crazy. I love the shape.
It's timeless, man.
Crazy.
It's absolutely timeless. You know what? I think for the rest of the drive, we need to let people just listen to the engine. Now, I couldn't have asked for a better car to drive on this beautiful sunny day. Honestly, couldn't have asked for a better car. I hope you all enjoyed the E8 orgasms the 645 Ci produces. Kenny wanted a cheap car that he didn't care about, but something he could be proud of for owning and make him smile as he drove. And by God, he achieved that. How much more can the car depreciate, really? It's worth less than 10% of its original list price, and I think they're a steal, especially as they look so modern and they fall in the lower road tax band. The car was ahead of its time. Look at this clever piece of engineering. The car can demist its windows instantly with this clever little idea. I don't know why this isn't a common practice on all modern cars. This car just doesn't fail to shock me. I've made it clear I want to own a V8 before the internal combustion engine ban in 2050, and I can see myself owning one of these alongside something like a smart car for errands. My achievable dream V8 would be the W204 C63, but they seem to be going up in price, and no doubt the running costs can be ruinous. The 645 surely isn't an economic bet, but if the C63 goes wrong, it can bankrupt you. With this, just make it a museum piece on your driveway. If you've done a fair few miles, I'd say that's not a bad deal. People spend way more on depreciation. If you liked this video, do remember to hit subscribe, share and like. Before we go, have a listen of the 8-cylinder Symphony.